for sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
And are both parties prepared to proceed on sentencing?
Yes.
All right, the court is calling 2025 CR 012572-02, State versus Carl Michael Robinson. Can I have parties announced for the record?
Those are for the state.
Michael DeLeon for Ms. Robinson.
And are you Mr. Robinson?
I am.
All right, you entered a plea to count one on March 16th to robbery of no contest. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. I believe you applied for deferred
We
adjudication.
did, Your Honor.
So the court deferred finding of guilt. According to your plea, the state is proceeding on the less included offense of robbery. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at a cap of 6 years. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
We have, Your Honor.
Any objections from the state or the defense?
Judge, we do have an objection, and I'll do it in the form of an oral motion in limine.
Okay.
My client has expressed how, in the pretrial report, it states about a bunch of pending charges in Arkansas, Kentucky, Kansas, and Oklahoma. None of those have been adjudicated. He doesn't want those cases to be held against him. Obviously, the court knows that he is innocent unless he's proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So kind of like he expressed it as a motion in limine. We'd ask that the court not hold cases that have not been adjudicated against Mr. Robinson for the purposes of this sentencing.
All right. Any objection to the court reviewing the PSI report so I can review what defense counsel is referring to?
Love it.
Hello. Good afternoon.
How are you?
Great. Could you
My
raise
last name is O'Connor, just so.
O'Connor?
Yeah,
Okay.
I just.
No, I appreciate that. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Jenny Michelle O'Connor.
All right, thank you. And if you'll, I know people want to face me when they're speaking, but the court reporter is taking down the record, and I promise I'll hear you, and I won't take it as a sign of disrespect.
Okay.
It will just make it easier for her.
Proceed, Your Honor.
Yes.
Ma'am, Ms. O'Connor.
Yes.
Who's Carl Robinson?
That is my son.
Okay, it's your biological son, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and how old is he approximately?
21.
Okay. He is here today for sentencing on a robbery charge. You've heard the cap of 6, and I've explained to you the possibility that the judge could give probation in this particular case, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I want to talk a little bit about Carl's background. Can you explain, number one, he graduated from high school, correct?
Correct.
So you consider him a very intelligent person.
He's incredibly smart.
Okay, and can you explain to the judge his upbringing? And has he had an easy life, or what kind of life has he had?
I mean, it's been a little unfair, like just the amount of trauma that he had to start off his life with, like from the age of 2 to like 10, and then just like having to grow from that. And then unfortunately other things happened in life, and like just knowing like the anatomy of like your body and stuff like that, and how your brain is, like when you already have that level of trauma, just to be able to like your frontal lobe where you're reasoning and your behavior and all that is naturally developed, and your body is just not developed. And I think those things have really played a great impact of poor choices that he has made, not to justify any of his behavior.
Can you explain to the court you're talking about trauma he's had through his childhood? Can you give us a concrete example of what we're talking about?
Well, my mom started molesting him when he was like 2 years old. And I didn't find out until he was like 10. And then my daughter's dad apparently did the same thing to him, and the situation got bad between us, and I'm alive today because my son like literally saved my life.
If the judge were to place it on deferred adjudication, do you think that you could you yourself could help him meet the requirements that probation would require.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Would he have a place to live with you or?
of course.
Okay, and you were here in court all morning, correct?
Yes, sir.
There was a co-defendant in this case, a woman by the last name of Santiago,
Yes, sir.
and she received deferred adjudication in this particular case, correct?
Correct. And that is the mother of his two children that are underneath the age of 2.
And she and Carl have two children together.
Correct.
Approximately how old are the children?
18 and 1 month. 18 month and 1 month.
Okay. And have you discussed with your son Carl about the possibilities of him being on probation and to actually, get his life together?
Oh, absolutely. And the kids are a driving force of his recognition of how his actions are really negatively affecting people's lives that he should be there for.
And do you feel that Carl would be take on his parental responsibilities and
Absolutely.
everything he has to do?
We have 100% discussed that, and we have 100% said that we would love to have 50-50 custody between Akira and Carl.
Okay. Have the courts figured anything about custody yet?
No, Akira is being very hard to work with on this instance.
Anything else you want the judge to know about Carl and his about himself?
He's an incredibly smart young man, and he is only 21 years old, and putting such a long sentence on him really has a negative outlook statistically in life. And I just want my son to have a future.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Carl Robinson.
All right, you may proceed.
Mr. Robinson, can you tell the court why you think you should get deferred adjudication in this case?
Of course. I could mitigate a couple vast scope of factors, but specifically what I would like to proclaim this void is let me start, yes, madam.
Oh, take your time. You don't have to rush through it.
When individuals proclamate or promulgate that they have changed, it is usually that of futuristic, that I'm going to change and I'm going to do this to change. And what I proclamate is that I have, it's more than external, it's that of internal. It's that of a genuine disappreciation for the nescience that transpires within the masses.
Else?
Let's see.
Michael DeLeon for Mr. Robinson.
All right, Mr. Robinson, you're still under oath, and did you have a chance to think about what you wanted to tell the court?
I did.
All right, do you need any more time?
No.
All right, Mr. DeLeon, you may proceed.
Can you tell the court why you think you should get deferred adjudication?
Certainly, requesting a chance of external rehabilitation. That's it. Have an opportunity to be there for my children, all the women dependent on me, and and evolve. It is kind of limited, if I may, to evolve in such circumstances. Yeah. I have and did, but simply asking that of you understand that I have a very small record if not minimal, that of a misdemeanor. And I just feel as if I would proclaim that I had qualified and deserve such chance to prove myself to myself and to my family. Then again, to be there for my children.
Mr. Robinson, let me ask you this. Do you feel like you can meet the qualification, do everything probation tells you to do if you're placed on probation?
Certainly,
And you want to have, you have an infant, you have an 18-month-old child, you want to take care of them, work, be responsible for them, help provide for them.
yes,
Okay, you said previously, you said that you're only, I think, the only adjudication of a crime is a fail to ID misdemeanor, correct?
correct, sir.
Okay, you've never been convicted of a felony in this state or any other.
Correct.
Okay, and if the court places you on deferred adjudication, you and I have had this discussion. If you're placed on deferred and you do not meet the requirements of your deferred adjudication, you can be brought back to court and face anywhere between 2 up to 20 years in prison. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
So if the court gives you that one chance, you understand that if you mess it up, you could be facing 20 years, correct?
Completely comprehensive.
Okay. Anything else you want the court to know?
I will evolve.
When you say you will evolve, does that mean you're gonna become a better person? And
In retrospect, in knowledge and character, and in retrospect, so I will evolve generally. And I have evolved therefrom, but I am subject to inevitable evolution.
that's all I have for you, sir. I'll pass the witness.
And maybe the attorneys can ask it. Number one is, why are people continuing to have children and they don't have their life together?
I can't answer that for you, Judge.
And then number two, I will say this, with regards to this case, nobody has clean hands. It just depends on whether or not the public will be safe with his having probation. And based upon what I'm reading in the stipulations, I have some issues with giving him probation, and maybe somebody can alleviate my concerns, maybe not. Here are my issues. You have the complainant who meets the mother of your child, and they're supposed to be meeting up some hotel to engage in certain intimacies in exchange for funds. And according to the stipulations, this was all planned out for you to come in and take money. And a gun is pulled on the guy. You want his gold chain. And in the stips, he said you even brought the equipment to determine the clarity of the gold chain. And he did tell the guy, hey, no, I'm not going to shoot you, but I will beat you with this gun. So I don't know if anybody wants to address those for the court, because I find it very concerning as far as it relates to public safety. And I don't know if anyone is able to address those concerns. And I know that the co-defendant, the mother of your children, is in Arkansas. She ended up in probation, and I know, but for her, this probably would have never happened, because if she wouldn't have agreed to meet up with him at a hotel, to have intimacies with him instead of you all getting a real job and taking care of the children that y'all decided to birth into this world, we wouldn't be here. So anybody want to address my concerns or issues?
Judge, I will address with essentially my closing argument is that Mr. Robinson's 21 years old. Young men make stupid choices, and stupid choices were made in this particular case. However, he has never been convicted of a felony before. He's been convicted of fail to ID one time in some other jurisdiction. He wants that opportunity for deferred adjudication, Your Honor, to prove himself. If he messes up, he is facing 20 years. That will ensure the community that of public safety in this particular case. I don't know if does your brother still live in Arkansas?
No, my mom
Sure.
stays here.
Okay. Regardless, Judge, with a co-defendant who got 5 years, a complainant who got his gold chain back, a complainant who was outdoing, illicit things. Regardless, he wants that opportunity for deferred adjudication. If he messes up, he's gonna be back here. He's gonna get 20 years, up to 20 years under a deferred adjudication. We want that opportunity for him. Like most people, 21-year-old man placed in this position by themselves because of poor choices. He knows that, he gets slapped in the face with the reality of the criminal justice system. He has that one more opportunity, Your Honor, if the court provides him with deferred adjudication, provides him that opportunity to do right, to change his life around. If he doesn't, then he's facing up to 20 years at that point. So we'd ask the court to consider the fact that he has not been adjudicated on any other cases. And in this particular case, even when in the steps, he says, I'm not gonna shoot you, but,
I'll beat you.
I'm paraphrasing and,
I mean, what are you shaking your head for? That's what's in the stipulations.
That is what the witness proclamated, Mrs. Boyd, but that is not.
All right, this is what I'm going to ask you to do for me. Stop using words that have more than 3 syllables that are in no way related to the questions that are being asked of you. So here's the thing. What's in the stipulation is what I go by, because stipulated means, everybody agrees. If this person were to come into court to testify, they're going to say exactly what's in the stipulation. That's when people sign off on this, that's what they're saying. They're saying, you know what? If this witness comes in, they're going to say exactly what's in the stipulations. And when I review the stipulations, I'm viewing it to see whether the evidence is sufficient enough to find somebody guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, right? That's what the stipulations are. And obviously we're here at sentencing, so I have deemed that there's enough evidence that has been presented by the state through way of stipulation for you to be found guilty. So that's what's in the stips that I read. If that's not what I read in the stips, somebody correct me. I'm not going to take offense.
That is what is in the stipulation.
All right.
nothing further, Judge.
State.
Your Honor, we ask that you deny the application for deferred adjudication sentenced to a cap of 6 years in the prison. Defense counsel points to the co-defendant getting 5 years deferred adjudication. However, it was Mr. Robinson that had the firearm and held the complainant at gunpoint. Further, the state would assert that Mr. Robinson does pose a potential risk of flight. Based on the PSI, he does have the 3 fail to appears in Arkansas. For June and July of 2025, which were dates prior to this and shortly before Mr. Robinson did show up in Texas, as he told the court. It's actually July of 2025, not August. So he does pose that risk of flight, and I don't think he would be a good candidate for deferred adjudication. He poses a risk to the community, Judge. We can't have people in our community going around holding people at gunpoint instead of getting jobs to financially support themselves in that way. So for that, we'd ask that you deny his application.
And lastly, Judge, on the court dates in Arkansas in July or wherever, it's all hearsay. We don't know exactly when those court dates are. We don't know anything about whether he was supposed to appear or not appear. If there's a non-appearance docket, we know nothing about that. So a little nitpicky on the state's interpretation of those dates, but the main big picture is this young man has never been convicted of a felony before. We're asking for deferred adjudication.
Thank you. Court an extra day just to consider whether or not I would grant your application. And I will tell you, there's a lot of things for a judge to weigh when they're considering whether or not to grant someone community supervision. Like sometimes people will say, well, you gave that person deferred. Why can't I have deferred? It's the same thing. But I try to stress to people that each case is individual, right? And there are certain facts in certain cases. Like, for example, I know part of the argument is like, well, the co-defendant got deferred adjudication. And I understand that potentially this never would have happen if she hadn't agreed to meet up with somebody, pretend that she's going to be intimate with them, and then they're being set up to be robbed. And I know that person doesn't come with clean hands either, meeting some stranger at a hotel room. But in your case, the facts are that you went there and you went there with the intention to rob. This isn't something, according to the stipulations that I've read, this isn't something where you just happen to be there. You're upset that your girlfriend is agreeing to be intimate with this person. This was all set up for a robbery. And then in the stipulations, the guy says that you were trying to test whether or not his gold chain was actually gold or test the weight of it. So those are problems that I have. And I do realize that you're young. I do realize that the state proceeded on this case as a robbery. So this is what the court is going to do. The court, as previously stated, is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 4 years in the prison. The court will retain jurisdiction. Court will give you credit for any time served. And the court will request the therapeutic community. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right, did you review the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Asterisk in the end, the judge acknowledged the defendant's age, his family, and his potential, but concluded that the planning involved in the robbery outweighed those factors. Instead of probation, the court imposed a 4-year prison sentence. It's a reminder that in criminal court, second chances aren't automatic. They're earned through actions, not just promises. What do you think? Did the judge strike the right balance between accountability and rehabilitation, or should she have granted deferred adjudication? Let us know in the comments.